down to your mat. I'm gonna have you, okay, take a seated position because we're gonna start off seated. And welcome to your gentle flow and stretch class. So my name is Laura Beth, and I have a couple of people on Instagram. Welcome. We're going to open up kind of all the way from shoulders down to, I mean, it's going to be full body like it always is, but we're definitely going to focus on getting into the chest some and also hamstrings, hips, all the good stuff. So when you're ready to sit down, you can just cross your legs in Sukhasana, your comfortable, easy sit. But I do want you to root your sits bones down. So you root down through your bottom, and then you stack your vertebra one on top of the other, and you pull your belly in and up. And you roll your shoulders back and down as you lift your chest, and then the navel draws in towards your spine. So you create this good posture, right? So it's your best posture. And then as you're stacking your vertebra, you feel supported all the way from your lumbar spine through the cervical spine. And when the shoulders roll back and down, your chest lifts and your clavicles kind of slightly open, right? So your heart feels lifted. Then pull the belly in. Maybe you close down your eyes. If that doesn't feel comfortable, just gaze towards something straight in front of you. But the idea is that you focus, you begin to ground down, and turn your attention to your breath. So it starts off, it's just your natural inhale and exhale, the breath that occurs in your body. And then eventually you begin to deepen that breath. So as you inhale, you draw the breath in all the way up, let the belly inflate, let your rib cage expand so your lungs go to full capacity. And then you exhale, let it travel back down, draw your navel in and up. But try to maintain the length in your spine even as you breathe out. So it's really easy to breathe out and soften, right? I want you to inhale, lift, get long, shoulders back and down. And then exhale, stay tall, right? So you inhale, the crown of your head starts to lengthen, your spine gets long, your belly pulls in. And then you exhale, soften your shoulders back and down from the ears. Inhale. You can start moving into Ujjayi Pranayama if that's your thing, your Ujjayi breath. So you would seal the lips lightly. Inhale through the nostrils, let it drag through the back of your throat. It creates an oceanic-like sound. And then you exhale through the nostrils, again dragging the breath through the back of your throat. So it's slightly constricted. Some people call this Darth Vader breath, right? So inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last two, just like this. On your inhale, reach your arms out and up. Seal your palms up overhead. On the exhale, drop your right hand down next to you. Lift your left arm up and over. You might take a soft bend to your right elbow, but ideally your left hip stays down. And so you lift your left side rib cage up and away from your left hip. And then as you exhale, relax your left shoulder from your ear. Maybe your gaze goes up underneath your tricep. It's up to you. And then on your inhale, take both arms to the sky. exhale, left arm down, right arm reaches up and over. You could have a soft bend to your left elbow. You're really working on just getting into the right side body. Keep your right hip rooted. So if you can see, my right hip started to lift. So I'm going to press my left hand down a little bit more deeply and get my right hip to push back down to the earth. So there you have it. Inhale, take both arms high. On the exhale, twist to the right. So your left hand finds your right thigh. Your right hand's behind your right hip. Roll your shoulders back and down. Gaze over your right shoulder. And then you inhale, come back to front and center. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to your left thigh. Left hand behind your left hip. Open up your chest. Inhale back to center. We're going to take that whole thing 2 more times. Exhale, right hand down, left arm reaches up and over for your side body stretch. And then you inhale, both arms to the sky. Exhale, left hand down, right arm reaches. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, twist to the right. Left hand to the right thigh, right hand behind the hip. Inhale, back to center, arms high. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to your left thigh, left hand behind your body. Everything is light though. Inhale, come back front and center, arms high. Exhale, right hand down, left arm reaches up and over. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, left hand down, right arm reaches up and over. Last round. Inhale, reach like you mean it. Feel the lengthening of your side body and the rooting of your sits bones. Exhale, twist to the right. Left hand to your right thigh, right hand behind your hip. Sometimes I take my left finger pads and kind of press through my right clavicle over to the front of my shoulder to guide the twist. And then you inhale, come back to center, both hands high. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to your left thigh. Try to stack your shoulders over your hips, lift your chest, pull your belly in and up. And maybe your right hand comes to your left shoulder. Then you inhale, come back, front and center. On the exhale, elbows back and down, lift your chest. Nice, y'all. Open up through your front heart space. And then let your hands come together at the base of your spine. Interlace your fingers and make a fist. Now as you inhale, puff up your chest. Roll your shoulders back and down. On the exhale, slide your fist over towards your left side waist, your left hip. Roll the shoulders back again. Take an inhale. You could just stay right here. Or on the exhale, left ear to your left shoulder and stretch out the right side of your neck, your right traps. Breathe in. Know that you're breathing in. Breathe out. Know that you're breathing out. On your inhale, the crown of your head reaches up, your fist slides down the low back. Some of you, the knuckles will reach down towards the floor, it's all good. And then you exhale, slide your fist over to your right side waist, to your right hip. Roll your shoulders back and down. The crown of your head reaches up, this is your inhale. Maybe your right ear down to your right shoulder as you exhale. So you're stretching through the left side of your neck. Breathe here, relax your face. And then you inhale, let the crown of your head reach to the sky. Your fist slides its way back down towards your low back. Arch your upper back. Maybe lift your chin so you stretch through your chest. And then as you exhale, slowly release. Let your hands come down to the mat. So come into all fours. I'm going to slide back a little bit. Come into all fours. So stack your shoulders over your wrists. And then bring your knees directly under your hips. Good, y'all. Spread your fingers out wide. Root down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. Now as you inhale, let a soft belly drop down. Lift your chin, lift your tail. And on the exhale, reverse the movement. Take your navel towards your spine. Dome out your upper back and let your head hang down. Inhale the belly down. This is your cow pose. Let your heart press between your upper arm bones. And then exhale, exhale, reverse the movement. Separate your shoulder blades. This is your cat pose. And then inhale, belly down. Exhale, bellies up. Let's take this a few more rounds at your own pace. Just move with your breath. So make sure as the belly goes down, you inhale. And as the belly draws up, you exhale. Now, what you like is cat and cow. Stay right here. Otherwise, you can move out of this vertical plane by swaying your hips around, moving in hip circles. And then really kind of moving into the side body, into the hips. Maybe you even kind of roll through your shoulders, but make sure that whatever movement you're taking, it feels supported in your body, right? So it's like the natural next thing. And then maybe if you went into those circles, you definitely want to go into the opposite direction. So leading with the opposite hip. And find some fluid motion here. Good. And then come back to your neutral spine. Take an inhale. Curl your toes underneath you. And then shift your hips back to a tuck-toed child's pose as you exhale. Slide your arms forward. Your chest is going to drape down on top of your thighs. And this is probably going to feel pretty intense on the ball mounds of your feet as you stretch all the fascia between your toe pedals and the balls of your feet, right? And all that little connective tissue right there. Awesome. And then when you're ready, on your inhale, shift back up. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Untuck your toes. And then as you exhale, press your right foot to the back of your mat, but come down onto the balls of your right foot. Now, inhale to shift forward and backwards. So you're stretching into your right calf. But you want to keep your belly pulled in and up so that you're supporting your lumbar spine. This is also going to get movement into your wrists. And then eventually you just stack your shoulders right back over your wrists. Inhale, lift your right leg. And then exhale, take your right foot over to the wood floor, or whatever floor you have. But you take your right foot over to the left and let it come completely off of your mat. So here, glance at your left hip. If you notice it misaligned from the thigh and the knee, make a straight, long line from your left hip to your thigh to your left knee. And then pull your right shoulder forward and turn your gaze back towards your left shoulder. So really getting a deep stretch into your right side body. And then you re-inhale back to your three-point balance. So lift your right leg up. Good. On the exhale, step your right foot forward right next to your right thumb and then slide your left knee back ever so slightly. So your right knee creates a 90-degree bend. And then there's a diagonal from your left hip to your left knee. On your inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, just stay right here. So Salamba Anjaneyasana, your supported crescent lunge. On the inhale, reach your fingertips a little bit higher. And then on the exhale, open arm twist to the right. So send your left fingertips forward, your right fingertips back. Good. Now really reach here. If this is what feels the best to you, stay. Otherwise, right hand to your low back. And then lift your left arm up. You're going to feel this intensify all through your left psoas and your left hip flexor. But keep pulling the pit of your belly in and up so that nothing is happening to your low back. Take one more inhale right here. And then as you exhale, left hand to the inside of your right foot and take your right arm up to the sky. Maybe stacking your shoulders. Try to keep your right knee at a 90-degree bend, and then your gaze theoretically would follow your right hand. If that doesn't feel good in your neck, just look down or look to the right. Take one more inhale right here. And then as you exhale, right hand to the outside of your right foot, shift your hips back and straighten your right leg. Now, I want y'all to kind of play around with this today. So I usually tell y'all, and I'm tight, I will let you know. I usually tell y'all, really make sure you're flexing your right toes back towards your shin, because that's actually what's going to elongate the backside of your right leg. But maybe today you play with pointing your toes forward and then flexing them back. So you're just going to get a different sensation. You're going to feel stuff happening on the top of your ankle, all around your shin bone, not just in the back side of your right leg. Good, y'all. And then flex your right toes back towards your shin. Take an inhale, long, strong spine. Left hand to the outside of your right foot as you exhale. Just a little bit deeper for your IT band area, right? And flex your toes back towards your shin. Awesome. Y'all. Let your left hand come back to the opposite side of your mat. And then you inhale, curl this forward. Lift your back knee. And on the exhale, step your left foot to meet the right. So your forward fold at the top of your mat. Take your feet about hip-width distance apart. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. And then grab opposite elbows with your hands. And you can sway side to side. You can be still. I don't care, right? Find whatever works for you today. I typically enjoy the swaying like an elephant's trunk. Good. But if that doesn't feel good in your low back, you just stay still. And you'll come back to center. Let your hands come down to the mat. Inhale to your halfway lift. Go ahead and slide your fingertips up towards your shin. I want you to feel the difference. So this is your tabletop spine, your tabletop back. But notice the belly still pulls up, so you're supporting your low back. And then you exhale, drape your chest back down to the ground, crown of your head down. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, crown forward, tail back, belly up, fingertips to the shins. Exhale, melt yourself down and let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take it back down. This time, inhale, come all the way to standing. Maybe you round your spine 1 vertebra at a time. You get to the top, the shoulders roll back and down, the head lifts. And then inhale, reach your arms out and up. Good. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Inhale, float your arms out and up. And then exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Step your feet back, and then bring your knees to the earth, and then soften your chest all the way to the ground. So your forehead comes down. And then inhale, toenails to the ground, hands underneath your shoulders, like right outside your chest. Peel your chest up and off of the earth. Keep your pubic bone down. And then exhale, melt yourself back down. Inhale, lift your chest off of the mat. Exhale, melt it back down. Last one, inhale, toenails down, lift your chest. Exhale, chest to the mat. Take an inhale, slowly lift. Exhale, tuck-toed child's pose, hips to your heels. Roll your forehead side to side if it feels good. And then you inhale back through center, press up into your box pose, stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. And then exhale, left foot to the back of your mat, but stay on the ball mounds of your left foot. And then roll forward and backward. So you're stretching through your left calf. Navel in and up towards your spine. You're at home, so go as deep with your breath as you want, right? When you're practicing virtually, you can do all the stuff that maybe right now in a studio you just don't feel comfortable doing, right? Breathe deep. Feel the oxygen move through your body. Restack your joints, shoulders over your wrists, and then inhale, lift your left leg up to hip height. You want your belly to pull in and up so you're supporting your lumbar spine. And then exhale, cross your left foot all the way over to the right. And then glance down at your right hip, thigh, and knee. If your right hip shifted to the right, stack it back over your right thigh, your right knee. You might have to press a little bit more into your left palm. And then pull your left shoulder forward and take your gaze over your right shoulder. And breathe. And then as you inhale, it's a 3-point balance. Your left leg rises. And then you exhale, step your left foot to your left thumb. Slide your right knee back. So you create your diagonal from your right knee to your right hip to your right knee. But you want your left knee to be a 90-degree bend, right? Slide this that way just so y'all can't see. And then you'll squeeze your inner thighs towards one another to support you as you inhale to come up into your supported crescent lunge. Left knee is still a 90-degree. Reach your arms up overhead. Stay for your exhale. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Now as you inhale, reach your fingertips just a little bit higher. So you're looking to find that length in your side body and in the front body. This is what makes the twisting easier as you exhale, open arm twist to the left, right fingertips forward, left fingertips back. Now shoulders stay over your hips. So if you notice that you reached forward as you twisted, reach your left fingertips back. Good. So the easier, you find more ease with twisting, the longer you can get your back. Yeah? Now you could stay right here. Or let your left hand come to the small of your back and reach your right arm up to the sky. Really stretch into your frontal hip on the right side and into your psoas. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Keep the bend to your left knee. Take one more inhale. And then your right hand comes down to the ground, to the inside of your left foot as you exhale. Inhale, reach your left arm up to the sky. Maybe you stack your shoulders. Keep the 90-degree bend in your left knee. It's really easy to back off here, right? And then gaze to your left hand if it feels right. Keep breathing. And then as you inhale, reach your left arm a little bit higher. And then on the exhale, left hand down to the ground. Shift your hips back and straighten your left leg, so half split. Begin by flexing your left toes back towards your shin. Maybe you extend your tailbone to the back of your mat. And then the choice is yours. Do you want to point your left toes, take your foot flat to the ground, and kind of just play around with lifting and flattening? It's up to you. I'm kind of moving back and forth between the two because my ankles are crunchy today. So I'm trying to get into all that space. Eventually, the left toes flex back towards your shin, and then your right hand lifts, and you just drop it to the outside of your left leg for just a moment. Try to keep your hips squared and level. Really flex into your left foot, and then let your right hand drop back over to the inside of your left leg. Inhale, walk yourself forward, curl up your back toes, lift your back knee, and then as a big step forward, exhale, right foot meets the left, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift, crown forward, tail back, belly up. Exhale, chest to your thighs, crown of your head down. Inhale, come all the way to standing, arms up, look up. Exhale, hands down to heart center, stay here for a moment. And then inhale, reach your arms out and up. On the exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold, chest to your thighs. Inhale is a halfway lift. Exhale, hands down to the earth. Step back into a high plank and let your knees come down to the ground. This time, let your hips come down to the ground and come onto your forearms and your elbows. So coming into Sphinx pose. So I'm going to have you make a number 11 with your arms. You want your elbows to be directly underneath your shoulders. And then your wrists are directly in front of your forearms, which are directly in front of your elbows. Roll your shoulders back. Your gaze is right there at the top of your mat probably, or in between your thumbs. And then the top of your pubic bone starts to draw slowly up towards your navel so that you lengthen your low back. And then create the sensation, create the movement of the elbows and the hips trying to pull towards one another. Lengthen your spine. No cranking of the neck, so your gaze is neutral. You want your head, your cervical spine, your thoracic spine to all be a continuation of each other. Take one more inhale. And then slide your hands back so that you can bring your chest to the ground as you exhale, forehead to the ground. Wiggle your hips side to side. And then inhale, lift your chest, palms down. Exhale, Child's pose, chest on top of your thighs. Counter out your sphinx, your back bend, your heart opener. And then from here, in your child's pose, seal your palms together, and then bring your thumbs towards the nape of your neck to stretch out your shoulders and your triceps. So you seal your hands together like you're in prayer, and then dig your elbows into the ground, and then drop your thumbs kind of towards the nape of your neck. So you bend the elbows, stretching through your triceps. Now if you need a little bit more here, you're gonna kind of walk your elbows forward, and you're probably going to feel a lot more around your shoulder girdle, your triceps. Just breathe here. Take one more inhale. And slowly release as you exhale. So slide your hands back underneath you. Find your box pose. So all fours. Take an inhale. And then curl up your toes. Lift your hips up and back to your first downward facing dog as you exhale. So your chest goes in towards your thighs. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. We're not going to stay here for a long time. Take an inhale. Let your heels get heavy as you exhale. For just another breath or two, if you want to pedal out your feet, lifting one heel and then the other, feel free to do that. And we're going to add on just a little bit to what we've already done. So as you inhale, float your right leg up to the sky. On the exhale, step your right foot to your right thumb and stay on the ball of your back foot. You're more than welcome to come back down to the left knee if that's more supportive for you. On your inhale, stack your shoulders over your hips and bring your arms up over your head. Settle in for your exhale. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Now as you inhale, reach your fingertips just a little bit higher. And on the exhale, open arm twist to the right. So send your left fingertips forward, your right fingertips back. So you're getting into your thoracic spine, opening up through your chest as well. So here, you can feel free to stay, or let your right hand come to the small of your back and let your left arm reach up and back. So you're stretching again through the front side of your left hip for your psoas. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Lift your chest. No pain in the low back. Take one more inhale. On the exhale, left hand down through the inner arch of your right foot. You might have to wiggle your left toes back. And then inhale, reach your right arm up to the sky. Your gaze traditionally follows the right hand, but you don't have to do that. Breathe here. Keep your right knee over your heel or your ankle. Take one more inhale. And then your right hand comes down. Straighten your right leg and shift your hips back as you exhale. So hands could be on blocks here. It would be great. If you have two blocks, I would put one on either side. Now press down into the big toe ball mound of your right foot. And let your chest drape on top of your thigh. Pull your hip up and back. Good. Now you can practice lifting your right toes and putting them back down. Flexing your right foot and straightening it back down. You could also lift your left hand and walk it over to the right and get into your IT band again, right? Take one more inhale. Then I'm going to have you unravel all the way to the opposite long edge of your mat as you exhale. So you're kind of spinning to the left. And your toes are either going to be slightly pigeon-toed or parallel to the long edge of your mat. As you inhale, take a halfway lift, crown forward, tail back, belly up. And then exhale, melt yourself down and let it all go. Crown of the head down. Now you could stay right here, or you could kind of bend into one knee and then the other. If you need to stretch into your inner thighs or your groin, this feels great, right? If you're not into it, skip it. That is fine. Inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, flip over your right foot. You're back at the top of your mat. Take an inhale to bend into your right knee. And then as you exhale, step your left foot forward into your forward fold. Chest to your thighs, crown of your head down. Good. Now from here, you could heel toe your feet out to about hip width distance apart. And then now that we've been here a few times and you might feel more stable and the back side of the legs more open, maybe you interlace your fingers and take them to the nape of your neck, your elbows in towards one another. And just get a back of the neck stretch. So you make a little basket, right? Take one more inhale and then let your hands come down as you exhale. All the way to standing with your inhale, arms out and up. And then forward fold as you exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Since it's your gentle class, I'm going to have you just bring your hands down and step back to downward facing dog as you exhale. No need for a chaturanga unless that's just something you need today. And from your inverted letter V shape, inhale, float your left leg up to the sky. And then exhale, step your left foot to your left thumb. Stay on the ball of your back foot. 90-degree bend with your left knee. And then inhale, shoulders over hips, arms overhead. Exhale, just settle in here. Good. Now you can stay right here. Or really use your inhale to get longer in the front body and the side body. And on the exhale, open arm twist to the left. Your right fingertips forward, your left fingertips back. Notice if you reach forward with your right hand. Stack your shoulders back over your hips. Pull the pit of your belly in. Stay here if you like it. Or left hand to your low back. Right arm up to the sky. Take your inhale. There's no pain here in your low back. So if you feel that, do something different, right? Inhale, try to lift your sternum a little bit more. And then as you exhale, right hand down to the inner arch of your left foot. Wiggle your right toes back. And then inhale, left arm up to the sky. Stack your shoulders, gaze to your top hand if you need it. Or you can just look to the side or look down to your left toes. Find what works. Firm up your legs for a moment. Take an inhale. And then left hand down. Straighten your left leg as you exhale. You could bump your right foot forward slightly. It's okay if your right heel is lifted here. We're in a longer stance than your traditional pyramid pose. Again, you could play here with lifting, kind of rolling to your left heel and lifting the left toes, and then flattening your left foot back out, or you can just stay still, right? And then inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, maybe you walk your right hand to the outside of your left foot. Get into that IT band area one more time. Left side. And then you inhale. On your exhale, unravel all the way to the right. So now you're facing the opposite long edge of your mat. Heels, toes slightly parallel or pigeon-toed. Inhale to a halfway lift, tabletop out your back, and then exhale, melt your thighs, your ribs in between the thighs, and drop the crown of your head down. So notice when you're here, if your shoulders come up towards your ears, and see if you can lengthen them down. So it feels counterintuitive because you're moving your shoulders like, I'm saying down, but they're actually moving up because your torso is inverted, right? But this is creating that length in your neck so that there's space between your ears and your shoulders. So you're sliding your shoulder blades kind of towards the sits bones. Inhale to a halfway lift. Tabletop your back. Exhale, flip over your left foot. You're back to the top of your mat. Inhale, bend your left knee. And then exhale, step your right foot to meet the left. Inhale to your halfway lift. Crown forward, toe back, belly up. Exhale, chest to your thighs. This time on your inhale, we're just going to shorten the hamstrings a little bit. So bend your knees, sit your hips low, reach your arms high. So we've done a lot of backside body opening. Find your chair pose. Squeeze your thighs towards one another. If your ankles are touching your knees or touching and vice versa, take one more inhale and then stand up nice and tall, hands to heart center as you exhale. Okay, on your inhale, reach your arms out and up and then make that same little basket around the base of your head, right? The base of your skull. Now, if you've got anything going on in your neck or your upper back today, you could just stay right here or you could skip it. Otherwise, as you inhale, lift your chin and let your head fall back into your hands. Now you got to pull your belly in and up so you don't overdo the arching of your low spine. On the exhale, tuck your chin and bring your elbows forward at the same time. So inhale, open your elbows and lift your chin, let your head fall back. And then exhale, tuck your chin and bring your elbows towards one another. Inhale, we're going to take 3 more. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Come to neutral with your inhale. Let your hands just drop down by your side body as you exhale. Roll your shoulders back and down. Maybe close your eyes for a second and feel yourself kind of balance, right? This innate drive within your body to recalibrate. So you might notice that you're swaying side to side or like you kind of move around in a little circle. So notice what's happening there and be okay with that, right? Be okay with the swaying side to side, with the gentle movement, all that good stuff. Yeah, y'all. And then when you're ready, flicker open your eyes. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Root down through your 2 feet. And then maybe you lift your chest and arch your back. And then exhale, your belly is still pulled up as you hinge at your hips. The knees can bend and drop the crown of your head down. Inhale to your halfway lift. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down, step your feet back. And then have you come down to your hands and your knees, so your box pose. Now, on your inhale, reach your right leg back nice and long. As you exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. I want you to slide your left knee back again. And then your heart pulls forward, right? So from here, make sure to pull the pit of your belly in and up. And then if you want a little bit more, turn your right toes out to like 1 or 2 o'clock. Maybe you roll to the outer edge of your right foot. But keep pulling the pit of your belly in and up. So you're supporting your low back, right? So if you're looking, and I always struggle with this about you looking at the screen, because I prefer you not to. But if you are, if you notice I'm not letting myself sag down, right? I'm pulling the pit of my belly up and drawing my pelvis forward, and I'm controlling the downward movement of my hips towards the ground. This is going to take care of my low back for me, right? And then if you need, and you actually really need extra, you could come down to your left forearm. You could press your right hand towards the fleshy part of your right inner thigh. So just going deeper, one little bit at a time. You could bend your left knee and reach back and catch your left ankle with your right hand. We've done a lot of chest opening, so you might be ready for this. It's deep on the hips, yes, but it's also a twist. Right? So feel it out. If it doesn't feel good to you, skip it. I don't always love this. Like, it's got to be the right day for me. Good. And then if you took your hand to your foot, when you release, you control it going down. It doesn't catapult away from your hand. And then let your right hand come back up and over. Press your palms down into the ground. Now turn your right toes back to 12 o'clock. Heel toe your right foot towards the left side of your mat and find your half pigeon. So your left leg extends long behind you. Your right shin can be anywhere from parallel to the top of your mat or completely diagonal with your right heel moving in towards your pelvis. And then also, if pigeon doesn't jive with you, you can take double pigeon, stacking your left shin on top of your right shin, or you could go into reclined pigeon, come onto your back, right ankle on top of your left knee or your thigh, with your shoulders softening back and down. So I will be in just traditional half pigeon. If there's anything extra you like to do here, by all means, you could lift your chest as you inhale, roll your shoulders back and down, and then drape yourself over your right leg as you exhale. So ideally your left hip is pulling down towards the ground. Just feel this out, enjoy where you're at. You'll probably notice that I give a lot of cues and tips and things of that nature. It is not meant to make you feel like it has to be perfect. It's to kind of give you an idea of what you're doing so that you know what you're doing, right? We're not looking for perfection by any means, but I do want you to be safe in your body. And on your inhale, lift your chest. Slide your hands back underneath your shoulders. And then curl up your back toes. And then just press back into your box pose. But I'm going to have you lift your right knee, and circle it out. I don't know if y'all heard my hip totally popped. But so yeah, just kind of circle out your right knee. You can always do it from downward facing dog. And then let your right knee come back down to the ground. If you need to take a cat-cow, kind of move back through those spaces, feel free to do so. And when you're ready, inhale, extend your left leg back behind you. And on the exhale, left foot to the outside of your left hand. Slide your right knee back. So back into our low lizard lunge, but now on the left side. So you can stay right here. Feel it out, right? Know if what you need on this side is right here or if you need something deeper. And then you could bring your right forearm down to the ground. You could turn your left toes out to like 10 or 11 o'clock. Make sure you're taking care of your low back so you're not just hanging out here. There is some action, right? Control. And then only if you really need it, you bend your right knee and reach back with your left hand and catch your right ankle. Perfect. Open up your chest. Breathe through it, feel it out. Then if you took hold of your right foot, you release it softly. Left hand comes back down to the ground. Come onto your palms, straighten your arms, turn your left toes back to 12 o'clock. So it's important that you come in and out of stuff with the same integrity, right? The transitions are just as important as the starting and end points. And then you could heel toe your left foot all the way over to the right. So again, you've got the same options. Half pigeon with the left shin kind of paralleling towards the top of your mat or diagonal. Right leg extended back behind you. Double pigeon if you want to go there, stacking your right shin on top of the left. Or reclined pigeon on your back with your left ankle crossing over your right knee. Wherever you need to go, close down your eyes if you can. Breathe in. Know that you're breathing in. Breathe out. And know that you're breathing out. back underneath your shoulders. Lift your chest. Your belly is still pulling in and up. Curl up your back toes. Kind of shift your hips back so you can draw your left knee back into your box pose. Then you're going to lift and circle out. Get some circulation back into the hip. Nice. And let your left knee come back down to the ground. Take an inhale. Hips towards your heels for one last child's pose as you exhale. And then inhale, lift up into all fours. You can either cross your feet at the ankles or just swing your feet out to the side and hips in the opposite direction. You're coming down to a seated position, so it doesn't have to be complicated, right? And then extend your legs long. Flex your toes back towards your shins. Now your knees can be as bent as you want them here, so know that, it's all good. But you want to root down into your sits bones and maybe kind of roll. You're going to have to get your stuff out of the way, right? And kind of roll to the front edge of your sits bones. Inhale, arms out and up. And then as you exhale, take your chest towards your thighs. Hands may or may not find the feet. It's all good. Roll your shoulders back. Open your collarbone. And then melt over your thighs. Inhale, start to stack your shoulders back over your hips. You might have to scoot your feet a little bit closer towards the top of your mat. And then arms out to the side body. Roll one vertebra at a time down onto your back. And once you're down there, take an inhale, full body stretch. Reach your legs forward, your arms up overhead. Arch your low back up and away from the mat. And then as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest for a moment and kind of just rock side to side. I like to turn my gaze in the opposite direction from my knees. And then release and come into a supine butterfly pose. So Supta Baddha Konasana. And let the soles of your feet come together, your heels in towards your sits bones. And then the knife edge of your feet down on the ground. Hands next to the hips, roll your shoulders back and down. Now you're going to root the knife edge of both feet down. This is your cobbler's bridge. So as you inhale, lift your hips up into the sky. Now if you hate this, you're not into it, do a different one, right? It's all good. Bridge, wheel, I mean, for gentle flow, I might not take wheel, but maybe that's gentle for you, you know? Back bends aren't gentle to me. So I'm here. You do you. That's the whole point of yoga. You get to find what works for you. And then if you're in this cobbler's bridge, you might notice that your hips kind of start to bounce, for lack of a better word. Like, that's all right. Just let it happen. Take maybe 2 more breaths here. Inhale. And let your hips soften to the ground as you exhale. Fold your knees back together like the pages of a book. Open your arms out to a T. And then you can take any other variation. I'm going to cross my right leg over my left. Scoop my hips a little bit to the right. And then let my knees fall to the left and turn my gaze to the right. Now, theoretically, we keep both shoulders down here. That's going to deepen your twist, right? If that's just not going to happen, maybe you need to unravel the legs and just stack them on top of one another. But remember, it's your gentle flow, it's stretch, it's, you know, take what you need. Now on your inhale, you might press down with your left palm to give you some extra support. Bring your knees back through center, unravel, and then I'm going to lift my hips up and slide them slightly to the left. Cross my left leg over the right, take an inhale, and then drop my knees to the right and turn my face to the left as I exhale. Again, keep the shoulders rooted if it's available. Figure out what you got to do. Maybe unraveling the legs. There are days where that just doesn't happen for me and I got to stack them. You might use your right palm flat down into the ground again. To inhale, lift your knees back through center. Kind of neutralize out the spine. Unravel your legs. Hug them in towards your chest, and maybe you take happy baby. So peace fingers to the big toes. Hands to the outer inner arches of your feet. And you can rock side to side here if you want. You could maybe straighten out the legs. You have that natural flexibility or openness in the hamstrings. Take one more inhale. And then waterfall pose. Press your feet up into the sky as you exhale. Now if you happen to have a block handy and you want to bring your feet back down to the ground and lift your hips and take a supported waterfall, you absolutely can. Otherwise, just stay right here. Your hands can be down by the side body. Rest your feet. Let your feet float in the air. You could draw figure eights on the ceiling. Excuse me. Or you could just be still, you know? Take one more inhale right here where you are. And hug your knees in towards your chest as you exhale. Maybe you round your forehead up to your knees. Take one more inhale. And then open up to your Shavasana as you exhale. Let your legs extend forward. Your feet hang comfortably open. Your arms down by the side body. Palms face up. Relax your brows. Wiggle your jaw from side to side and then let it go slack. And allow for that deep release and relaxation to wash over your body from the crown of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. And rest. you need is to be here longer, I encourage you to just stay right where you are. You don't need to do anything at all but rest. If you are ready to exit the mat, you start by deepening your breath. You wiggle your fingers and your toes. And on your inhale, you reach the arms up overhead. That's your full body stretch. And then you exhale, knees in towards your chest. And take your time. You're going to either roll to the side of your choosing or rock up to your comfortable seated position right where you are. We all meet in that seated position the same way we started class. Hands in your lap or on your knees, or you can bring your palms together in Anjali Mudra at heart center. You should take that final moment, that pause, to be grateful for your body, for what it does for you today. Be hopeful for tomorrow. I appreciate all of you stepping on your mats today. I'm going to be honest, this work is not, even stretching in gentle flow is not always easy. But you need this for a healthy body, for a healthy mind, and your future self will thank you for the work that you're putting in right now. That I can guarantee. So I appreciate you for being here. Namaste.